Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, being in C with my mom for a year changed my life. What would you say to a MIL like this? MIL lied to my husband about me, uninviting her to our engagement and wedding. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Being in C with my mom for a year changed my life. Are mother rants okay? Please delete if not. I have been in C with my mother for almost a year, and hell, I feel reborn. My mother and I have always had a shit relationship. I grew up in foster care because my mother is a selfish addict. She only cared about me and my siblings if she could benefit or get attention. She has always been a parasite, just takes whatever she can, for however long she can. I am finally free of her manipulative, selfish bullshit. My grandmother started getting sick 2 years ago. I became her caretaker. My mother would come over twice a month and chastise me when I said how tired and scared I was playing nurse. When I had to put my grandma in the hospital, my mom would come over in the middle of the night and use the apartment like her escape, eat all YM food, smoke, steal my grandma's belongings. When I asked her to stop, she threatened that she wouldn't pay the rent. She had full control over my grandma's finances. I finally put my foot down when my grandma was in her last days. She was being released from the hospital, and I wanted to find in-home hospice. I couldn't find any company that would come every day, which I needed. So my mom took her. My gram died 6 days later. My mother tried to steal money from my life insurance policy. It was originally $10K. She had already borrowed $2K years ago and tried to take another $1K for reasons. After my gram passed, and I got the money, she asked to borrow $500 until her policies were released. I said sure. I just asked her to sign a contract that she would make my policy whole. Obviously, she went off on me because that was when she realized she had no more hold over me. I didn't need her financially, and I wasn't going to support her like she had become accustomed. I use every single dollar to pay off 6 months of rent. I gave her 6 months to get her belongings out of my apartment and storage unit. She never once came. I don't know if she is even alive. I really don't care. I am free. She isn't in my ear anymore telling me I am worthless. She isn't in my ear anymore telling me I owe her because she is my mother. I owe myself joy and goodness. Thank you for reading. You are the phoenix rising from the flames, sweetheart, and you absolutely do deserve joy and goodness. I wish you much love and happiness too for your future without your mom bringing you down. I am a broken human, but the pieces I can keep track of are worth loving. Thank you for your kind words. I have a long way to go, but it is a journey I am willing and finally ready to make. All my love back to you. Yes, you do. I wish you nothing but goodness and joy. Thank you. All the love I can send, without being obscene. What would you say to a MIL like this? I won't go into too much detail about my MIL. To put it simply, she is emotionally abusive. My husband is taking off work so we can have a much-needed staycation in the second half of May. We have many activities planned like camping, zoo, farm visits that will be a first for our 9MO daughter. Most of them will be just the 3 of us, as that's how we want it. He doesn't dare let his mom know anything because she will be jealous and might possibly take off work last minute to invite herself. But my MIL has this crazy thought in her head that she needs to be on a babysitting schedule with our daughter. She pushed for every Sunday, and we said that was crazy, so now she assumes every other Sunday, to which we said we will try, but we don't want to make promises. Well, this is why. My husband is having extreme anxiety about telling his mom that after Mother's Day weekend we will busy until June, because that's 3 weeks without her baby. I have no sympathy for her and want to tell her to F off, but I am trying to stay cordial. He works full-time, attends school, is raising a baby, and helps with chores and errands. He is a busy man, and he should be allowed to spend extended time with his family. He is afraid his mom will either cry snap at him, or make him compromise with her by letting her have a special overnight visit or something. Obviously, we don't want any of that. Also, he is currently in therapy to work on these issues. So I am brainstorming how to peacefully explain we will be busy to MIL. But what do I say without seeming passive-aggressive, but also crystal MF clear? We will be seeing her on Mother's Day. How fitting. And I just need some ideas from you lovely people who understand our pain. Tia. Having any kind of schedule gives her more chances to get visitation through the court if you ever cut her off. Stop any kind of schedule unless it's like once a month supervised. We're not going on an access plan with anybody for our baby. Never going to happen, and stop suggesting it. We're having a 3-week holiday from the rest of the world. See you in June after our break. Just be straight with her and never bend. All her negotiation is met with, "No, we told you what we're doing. It's not changing for anybody. Stop telling us what to do, or this visit is over." Just be clear and unyielding. My SIL tells our MIL/FIL something, and all negotiating is met with one, "I already told you," and all other negotiating is met with silence. She's tough as nails and a little nasty but highly effective. Can't you just go camping, etc. without telling her? If she demands time with your little possum, sorry, that doesn't work for us, perhaps next time. No explanation needed. Edit to add, your little one is not her emotional support animal. OP, don't justify your decisions/plans to MIL. That just empowers her. Sorry MIL, we are plans and will catch up with you around X date in June. If MIL starts with the guilt trip, advise that it's nice she wants to spend time with grandchild and you will see her on X date. I'd have DH set up an auto response for when she starts calling that states, "Thanks for reaching out. We are currently busy and will respond sometime over the week when we have a moment." Even have your DH start saying when she tries inviting herself, "Sorry mom, OP and I are spending quality family time with LO doing a few things. We'll let you know if we plan something you can join us on." If she pushes that she wants to come, he needs to say, "Mom, I want to spend some time off with my wife as a couple, and that is just the 2 of us. There isn't 3 in this marriage." If MIL wants to keep on about the Sunday babysitting, just state, "We have already told you we will let you know if we need you to babysit," and then change the subject and stop responding to it. Do you use social media that has other family members on it? If so, I would tell her about your plans and at the exact same time post something like, "Hubby works so hard between his job and education and has an opportunity to take a much-needed break, so our little family unit is taking some time to ourselves for the next few weeks. We are so excited about it just being us 3 for the first time. We will be shutting the phones off and taking in the experience, so please don't be offended if you call or message and we don't respond until June." If she sees that and knows others in the family see it and have made congratulatory comments, it may get through to her better. "Mil, you are not spending 3 weeks without your baby. This is our baby and we are busy. We will let you know when we have time for a visit. We do not need or want a babysitter regularly. We enjoy spending time as our little family, just the 3 of us. You need to figure out how to be okay with that because it's not changing. I'm really uncomfortable with the demands you're constantly making. This is not a negotiation. Repeat as necessary. Keep what a strange thing to say at the ready. MIL lied to my husband about me, uninviting her to our engagement and wedding. I hope I used the correct flair. Sorry if I didn't. I generally read and make comments on here. I don't make many posts, so not versed on how it all works. I never thought I'd be making a post about my MIL because I've always got along with boyfriend's family, especially mothers, but here I am. Please forgive my writing style. I'm terrible at writing things down. I miss things out and confuse everybody, LOL. Well, it turns out I have a MIL that apparently doesn't like me and is lying about me to my husband, and I'm finding this out 18 years into my relationship with my husband. My husband, boyfriend at the time, and I had a kind of long-distance relationship for about 3 years. Then when we realized we were serious, I moved to my husband's hometown, met the rest of his family and friends, etc. I had met a lot of them already. I got on well with all of them, but due to my husband's mom not living locally, I only ever met her in person a maximum of around 5 times, but we spoke through social media a lot, commented on each other's posts, and private messaging. A few years later, my husband proposed. We'd been together about 7 years by this point. One of the family friends became a good friend to me. I trusted her, and we even worked together at one point. We were becoming best friends. So when my husband and I were planning our wedding, I asked her if she would be maid of honor. She agreed, and we got to planning and dress shopping. It was fun for a while. One day at work, we were on break, and we were talking about the wedding and what kind of bridesmaids' dresses she felt comfortable wearing, when she stops and tells me that she had a conversation with my husband's mom and that the wedding came up and that she, MIL, told her that she and her husband were going to Rio to watch the World Cup, football/soccer, so won't be coming to the wedding. I was shocked. My heart sank. My husband is her oldest child of 3 and the first to get married, and she was choosing to go watch some men kick a ball around instead of being by her son's side on his wedding day, a son she claims to love. She knew about the wedding because she was the very first person we told as soon as we booked and paid deposits, but she never said a thing to us about the trip to watch football. Plus, she had been given an entire year's notice and still chose to plan a World Cup trip instead. I mentioned my disappointment to the friend. Well, I told my husband and we talked about changing our wedding date so she could come. We did. We changed it to the following year, September 4th, 2015. But they never did go to watch the World Cup in the end. I never said anything to MIL, and I don't think my husband did either. I still talked with her, and we got along as well as we could with us hardly ever actually meeting each other often. We talked over social media. I was into photography, so did family photos of her 2 grandchildren that she rarely saw, and sent her the photos as a gift. I was there to comfort her when she was sick and supported however I could via social media. Then one day, months later, I went to give her an update on the wedding and I found that she had blocked me. No warning, no arguments, nothing. I was blocked. I asked my husband what happened, and he said he had no idea. Neither of us could think of anything to cause it except for the fact his mom isn't very technology savvy. She doesn't get on with smartphones and barely knows how to work a computer. So we thought maybe she did it accidentally. My husband asked her, but she always ignored those messages. We decided to just drop it and move on. About 3 months before the wedding, I was sending the invitations out and wrote his mom's invitation. We were going to send it via post, but his mom was going to be visiting family locally because her mom had recently died, so we decided that my husband would hand her the invitation in person. He forgot to take it with him, which I'm not mad about. His grandmother had just died. I could just post it to her instead as already planned. Well, I got a DM from her asking where her invitation was and if it was lost in the post, and her basically saying that she and her husband can't come to the wedding because she just started a new job and can't get the time off work. I responded saying that my husband was going to give it to her at the funeral, but we thought it might be insensitive, so we were sending it via post. I wasn't throwing my husband under the bus for forgetting something during a sad time. She blocked me again, so the theory about her not knowing technology was null and void. We got married. She didn't attend, but my husband sent photos, etc. His mom and her husband eventually moved to Spain, where they've been ever since, probably about 8 years now. I'm unsure when they moved. Fast forward a few years, and my husband decides he wants to go visit his mom in Spain for the weekend. I didn't want to go. I had things to do, and this was a last-minute trip. Everything was fine. Except when he came back, he told me that she said I had blocked her, and she doesn't know why. So my husband asked me, and I reminded him that it was her blocking me, and reminded him of the messages she sent about not coming to the wedding and me not being able to respond because she blocked me. I even scrolled through my block list to show him his mom wasn't on that list. I didn't need to show him. He didn't ask me to, but I don't like being called a liar and being accused of something I haven't done. Since then, my husband has gone to visit his mom once a year, and I haven't been invited, mostly because I didn't want to go and the whole thing was forgotten. Last year, September, I got a new phone and I remember him telling me his mom's phone is terrible and falling apart, but she can't afford a new one. So we sent my old phone, still in perfect condition, to Spain as a gift for her. Unfortunately, it never arrived. It kept being passed around at customs for months, so we requested it be returned. It was returned about a month ago. But we sent her money to buy a new phone instead. Not the actions of an evil DIL, are they? Well, fast forward to about 6 weeks ago. My husband and his brother decided to plan a trip to Spain. His brother's partner was also going and my husband invited me along too. I didn't think I was invited because I thought the trip was to go spend time with their mom and I felt that I wouldn't be welcomed by his mom. But apparently it's a holiday for us all, and they will just meet with his mom for a few hours for lunch on one of the days there. I agreed to go and got excited. I'm in the UK, and all it ever does is rain here, so I wanted some sun. So my husband, myself, his brother, and his girlfriend all got into a group chat and started choosing hotels. We just got settled on a hotel and was about to book when his mom called him. She had been informed by my husband's brother, her other son, about the holiday. She told him that she doesn't want to see me, that I'm not welcome, and that I am abusive toward her, etc. My husband was as confused as I was when he told me. She told him that I uninvited her from our engagement party and our wedding. Oh, and when we postponed the wedding by a year, so his mom could attend, we lost thousands in deposits. We had to downsize the wedding, and we found it was cheaper to marry in my hometown, so we did it there. The friend was dropped from being a friend, and the wedding due to something else she had done, so she was never there. But she was at the engagement party. Anyway, back to recent events. My husband knows everything his mom is saying is a lie, but he asked me anyway. We talked about it for a long time. He called his mom back to remind her, I had forgotten about this, that she told us she couldn't attend the engagement party because she was sick, she has health issues, and that we did invite her because he was the one that sent her the online invite. She started the waterworks, convincing him that I'm a bad person. I've spoken to her awfully, treated her badly, even though we've only met a maximum of 5 times and only ever spoken via social media, and making up lies to make her look bad and to turn my husband against her. My husband knows it's bull. I've never said a bad word about her to him or anyone. In fact, this is the first time I'm talking publicly and negatively about her. Even that day when she was calling me a liar, I was trying to make excuses like, maybe she's getting old and misremembering things. Well, this all upset me because I could tell she was really trying to convince him that she's telling the truth and I'm a liar. Thankfully, I realized I could still get access to all the private messages we had over social media. Unfortunately, it took me almost 2 hours of scrolling to find her name on the list, but I found her, and I read through all the messages between us, and there was zero abuse there. I found it was mostly her telling me that she was sick and complaining about her sister, and talking about her daughter who was troubled at the time. Then there were the very few messages about the wedding and her excuses why she couldn't attend the engagement party and the wedding. No messages saying I had uninvited her. And thankfully, whenever somebody deletes a message on this particular social media app, it shows as message deleted. And there was none of that, so she couldn't claim I had deleted those type of messages. I took screenshot of them so he could send to her as proof, but I also let my husband scroll through my entire years-long conversations with her to prove to him that I didn't do or say what she said I did. I didn't need to show him because he believed me, but like I said, I hate being accused of something I haven't done, so I had to prove it. He called her again and mentioned the messages and that he had read them and can prove it with the screenshot, that I never talked badly to her or uninvited her, and that it was she who said she couldn't attend. She cries again saying that I did it over the phone at our engagement party. That I had told her she had ruined the party for not attending, and that I was screaming and shouting at her over the phone about her going to watch the World Cup instead of attending the wedding, and that people had told her I was always talking badly about her. My husband knows everything his mom is saying is a lie because I never had his mom's phone number and it was our engagement party. We were happy, We had a huge barbecue in our garden with friends and family. We had kids running around playing. We were all having an absolute blast. Friends still bring up the party now because it was fantastic. Happy, loving, ridiculously funny, and just really lovely. We were way too busy having fun and way too happy, so why would I want to call somebody to be angry? It made no sense to me or my husband. I ended up breaking down and crying because she was even starting to convince me that I actually did it and that I'm the one misremembering it all. I felt vindicated. Woomith, the private messages bit. Now she's saying I called her. How do I prove to my husband I didn't call her or have her phone number? I told my husband I won't be going on the holiday because I'm not welcome and she's ruined it for me. It even upset my husband because he knows I'm not the person his mom was making me out to be, and he felt awful that I felt I needed to prove myself to him. After I calmed down and came to my senses, we decided I was going on the holiday. I needed it and certainly deserved it after this awful day of hate from his mother. So we all booked. We go in July. The day they go see their mom, I will go shopping for gifts and sit around the pool with a good book and cocktails. I've told him he doesn't have to stop seeing and speaking to his mom because of me, that I'm not making him choose between me and her, but he does have to keep defending me to her and not allow her to tell her lies. He's already told her that if she ever talks negatively about me again, it will be the end of their relationship. He showed me the messages. That day was such a long day. This entire back and forth with his mom went on for hours. It was exhausting. But my husband called his brother and talked with him about it, and even his brother said it was bull because he was at the engagement party too, and for the majority of the day I was entertaining guests and having dance battles with him and having fun. Plus I was the only person tending to the barbecue too, so there's no way you had time for any of that nonsense. So, I have absolutely no idea why his mom doesn't like me. Maybe it has something to do with what the friend said to her, and I don't know what was said. But whatever game his mother is playing, she's playing the long game because peer engagement party was July 2013. She blocked me 2015, a few months before the wedding. We haven't spoken to each other since she blocked me. Oh, and I just remembered that she told my husband that the real reason she didn't come to the engagement party was because his dad was going. They're divorced and hate each other. But he didn't come either. Then when he questioned her on it, she backtracked and said I had uninvited her. Lol. She couldn't keep her lies in order. She's not the worst MIL in the world, especially because she lives a 4 hours flight away, so can't actually physically meddle, but she's certainly a baffling MIL. Sorry about my terrible storytelling. I'm an awful writer, lol. He believes you. He knows they are lies, but still questions you? Why? OP. She might not be the worst MIL in the world, but she's right up there in the top 95% Gs. I have read a lot of horror stories on here about MILs that make mine seem like a saint. That's kinda how I meant it. If somebody was accusing me of having called to argue with them, and I knew I never called them, I would be going onto my cell phone provider's website and pulling the phone logs for that month to show that I've never made a call to that number. The question is, if your husband was provided that proof, what would he do here? Is he really ready to cut off his mom because she's lying and trying to turn you into the bad guy here? You said he believes you, so how far is it worth going? I am self-righteous enough that I would absolutely try to prove it down and send those phone logs to just about everybody involved. But I also have a husband who would never tolerate someone calling his wife a liar, even if he was related to them. This isn't so problem. You are NC. That means, among other things, he shouldn't be playing middleman for her. Remind him who he is actually married to, as he seems to think that you are the problem. He also should stop going to Spain. He should get therapy. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.